Hey, you there! If you like Undertale or is a really big fan of indie games in general, keep watching this video. Okay, I got your attention? Okay, cool. Alright, hear me out. But I think Undertale should have an adaptation. Okay, I see you're confused. Just let me explain. Recently, there have been news and releases of video game adaptations like Arcane, Fallout, Sonic, the Mario movie, and even for indie games too, like the FNAF movie, the Cuphead show, and a Poppy Playtime and Bindi and Ink Machine movie coming, who knows when? And, the Among Us show is gonna be coming out soon. I'm pretty sure Among Us was an indie game, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I thought they should do Undertale because, why not? Totally not, because I love the game and have loved it ever since it came out nearly 10 years ago! Excuse me. Now, I will say this, it won't be a live action or anything like that. Ugh, God, that would, not really be the greatest.
Actually, it would be better. I already have a fan cast made for it specifically. Chris Pratt can play Sans, Ariana Grande can play Frisk, and my personal favorite, Jeffree Star, can play Minotaur.
Not in a million fucking years! Anyways, I have a proposition. It should and will not be live action whatsoever, but should be animated, or in my personal opinion, it should be in stop motion. Not for any reason, I just love stop motion movies, specifically Leica Studios. And another thing, it shouldn't be a movie, but a show instead. I'll explain further. So we know in Undertale how there are multiple endings, but they're specifically in 3 categories: pacifist, neutral, and genocide. It would be hard to show that kind of concept in just one movie or 2, but still. So I think it should be in a show format instead. Season 1 would be dedicated to pacifist or true pacifist route, and the second season would focus on the neutral route and genocide route. Here's my little pitch about it. I won't go into extreme detail, but we'll see. So the first season would be about pacifist, or the pacifist route specifically. Now, usually it would take like regular players, they wouldn't do pacifist first. Sometimes they would just do neutral routes first, and then they find out about pacifist, and then they do that. I didn't personally do this, but I know probably some other people have, so I want to clarify that the pacifist route would be the first run Frisk has made. Like, they didn't do a neutral route a couple times, then pacifist. They just did pacifist first. Because Frisk is like a genuine, like, kind of character. And you know, it's the usual pacifist route. We see Frisk go on this journey, meeting Toriel, Sand, Papyrus, and Undyne, the usual stuff. Nothing has really changed. I mean, not the entire season will be focused on Frisk, like maybe in one episode it would be dedicated to a character, you know, something like that. Like maybe each episode could be about like 40 minutes. Just so that way it gives the audience time to like get to know the characters if they've never really watched or played the games before. And maybe within the show there could be some theories that could be canonized or like debunked or something. But I'll go ahead and just skip to the very last episode, the finale. At the last episode, they finally escape the underground and they all stare at the sunset and feeling a breeze finally out of the underground. And then Frisk walks with Toriel and it fades to black. Thinking, oh, the show's over. But then the save point pops up. And maybe Kara can make a physical appearance too? Like throughout the show, maybe like, you know, you could see a glimpse of Kara, you know, because like there's a thing where like the little like internal monologue thing whenever you like have an encounter is Kara. Which would make sense. So maybe it could be something like that. But you don't see what Kara looks until that point maybe. I don't know, just a thought. But then suddenly, Frisk wakes up and is now back to where they started, on the Golden Flowers. And Frisk obviously looks very confused. It maybe says like a one-liner thing like, what happened? Or just something like that. And then the credits roll, ending on a cliffhanger. Also, I should mention that throughout the season, you know, Frisk dies repeatedly because like that's one of the benefits of the game is like the whole save point concept. So like Frisk knew about like the save points and stuff, but they didn't think they would go back to where they started. So it's essentially it's like one of those loop things. Okay, now as for season 2, I think half the season, or at least a good chunk part of it maybe, I don't know. But some of season 2 should be part of why Frisk is back to where they started. And like they try to figure out how to break the cycle and stuff. Maybe like Frisk will finally meet Gaster or something. Or maybe in season 1 they already met Gaster. Who knows? Again, I don't know much details about what the show would be like specifically, like each episode, but I know how the format should be within 2 seasons. But anyways, Frisk repeats the timeline several times, doing pacifist route a good chunk of times, and then, gets curious and decides to kill a couple monsters, starting the neutral route. Obviously, a good chunk of content would be cut off, because, you already know what would happen within, the first season, because, everything's repeated. So stuff would be cut and would only get to the juicy stuff that is new for the audience. And they realize that every, few monsters and, maybe boss monsters that they kill, something different happens. Now, they don't kill anyone yet, at least within the neutral route. They don't kill, their friends that they had in the first initial route. They want to completely avoid at all times. But then suddenly, they just had an idea. They kept killing more and more monsters until suddenly, they had the idea of starting a completely new route, the genocide route. Now, this one is kind of just up in the air on how Frisk gets the idea. There's one thing where Kara convinces them to do the genocide route. This was completely on their own intention because of curiosity. And I'm not entirely sure I want to involve anything with, game-wise within the show. Because there's another thing where they are aware they are a video game character, and the player decides and they don't like that. That could be up for speculation though, not a bad idea, but not my initial thought for this concept. But anyways, for the remainder of the show, or season, Frisk does the genocide route, and throughout you can see another monster's perspective, specifically Sans' perspective. Maybe after Frisk kills Toriel, and after the monologue with Flowey, it would cut to black, and then Sans will wake up. Now, there's another thing, or theory, I don't know, well, it's not exactly, I haven't really heard anything about it being canon, but it's just a well-known fact that everyone kind of likes within the internet, a fanon, if you will, that Sans knows about the resets as well. He's also aware of it. But, obviously he doesn't say anything about it. Hi, Editor Mia here. I'm stupid, it is canon. I don't know why I thought I didn't just fucking Google search this before anything, or I say anything. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little stupid, so sorry. Okay, back to the video. But then we cut to his perspective just for a little bit. We cut to his perspective when he meets Frisk again for the first time with the whoopee cushion and the hand trick. But then he notices when Frisk just turned around immediately. Before he could really say any more, he knows something's up. And then that whole shtick with Frisk pretending, or Sans telling Frisk to pretend to be human for his brother's sake. Also, oh my god, that line is so good! Anyways, but yeah, it would cut back to Frisk and Sans' perspective on things. Again, I'm not entirely sure on the specific details, but just keep that in mind. And then at the season finale, it's the Sans fight. It can go back and forth between perspectives, or it could just stick to one. I don't know. Again, that's kind of just up in the air. And of course, sadly, Sans loses. And then Frisk kills Asgore and Flowey. And either Frisk is just surrounded by a black void, or it just cuts to Frisk just in the garden. And then behind them, a familiar voice. It's Kara. And they give you a choice. Erase everything, or don't. Regardless of what you choose in the game, the same thing happens. So at that point, you wouldn't have a choice, but just make sure to keep that in mind when it comes to choice. At least in this, section. And Kara does their jump scare, blah blah blah. And then, it cuts to black, and then you hear that breeze, like in the game. And Frisk is just floating in the void. And then Kara does their monologue about, you wanted this, or at least Frisk wanted this. They wanted to kill everyone. They wanted to erase everything. So why are they upset? Or something along those lines? But anyways, this is where you can actually make a choice. I don't know if other streaming services have this kind of mechanic, but I'm gonna do this for Netflix specifically because that's all I can really know off the top of my head. But Netflix has this mechanic where you can actually choose an option. There's a good chunk of shows that make you actually choose. And maybe throughout the show, maybe you could make small decisions that would impact it a little bit or something. Probably not, but again, that's just in the air. For certain, this decision would be at the end of the show. Like, this is a for certain thing to happen. Frisk can decide whether to keep it this way or to go back and restart everything. Now, if you choose keep everything the same, obviously, like, you know, it would, like, be quiet for a couple more seconds, and then show would end. But if you choose the other option, Frisk would wake up to like the pile of golden flowers. And then they walk up to Flowey, and then Flowey says, you know, just like, howdy. And then the show would end. Kind of like a good ending, bad ending kind of situation. But not exactly, if that makes sense. I don't know. Oh my god, that was a lot. But yeah, this is my idea for an Undertale show adaptation. Is it good? I don't know. Probably. Is it something different? I'd like to think so. Again, this isn't anything like genuinely serious that I want to bring to life. This is just an idea I want to bring onto people. See if maybe it is a good idea or not, or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to happen, obviously. I don't really care regardless. It's just a silly idea I had. But regardless, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I've never really made like a video this long before, so sorry if like my voice recording is off or anything. I don't have anything fancy. And Toby Fox, if you were by chance watching this video and you do want to try to do the adaptation because of this video, hire me please. Okay, that's it. I'm really bad with intros, so bye.